where expression is guaranteed. My name is Elijah Kelvin Murungi, and this is The Platform. So today we've come back with yet another episode of The Platform, and with me today we have gentlemen who have made it live on Elkem TV, and I'm going to start with the introduction right at my extreme left. Right there is the Honorable Ateenyi Kanaginagi, of course a platformer. He has always been with us here. He's the vice chairperson of the National Resistance Movement. Yes, the vice president of National Resistance Movement in Masindi district. You can greet our viewers.
Good evening, viewers. Once again, we are here to interact with you on your TV screens and on your phones, discussing matters of national importance. Remain calm and stay put.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Kanaginagi Ateenyi. Next to him is the Honorable Mayor, the former mayor of Masindi municipality, that is Emeritus. I had some time to learn how to pronounce that name. Yeah, Emeritus Joshua Amanyire, who is also a member of the National Resistance Movement, but also the former mayor of Masindi municipality. You can greet our viewers.
Hello viewers. I love you, and I want to thank God that you are there, and we are here to discuss issues, matters pertaining what concerns us, what concerns our nation, and of course for everything that is done and that we see, there is always something to learn for now and for the future.
That's right.
Wish you well. Hello. All
right. Next to the Honorable Mayor, we have another platformer. Of course, that is the Honorable Fenhance Kyotasobora, who is the member of Uganda People's Congress, and also the flag bearer, right, of Burundi. I beg to be corrected. Okay, for member of parliament, of course.
Hope I will introduce myself.
All right. Okay, you can go on and introduce yourself.
Kyotasobora Fenhance is my name. A citizen of this country.
Okay.
An educationist. The other time we said a professional teacher.
Yeah, that's right.
A social worker, a development worker. And I love Uganda. Good evening, viewers. Certainly I'm not a flag bearer for UPC for Murungi County constituency, but I know I'm a flag bearer of a section of people in the Bujenje County constituency for the parliamentary seat for Bujenje, the previous elections and the 2011 elections.
Okay. All right. So the thing is Bujenje, not Murungi. Yes, I beg to be
people's flag bearer.
People's. so what is the difference? Are the people's
you represent parties?
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of The Platform, where expression is guaranteed. And for the viewers that are watching us for the first time, we always have this show streaming live on Elkem television, that is on our YouTube and Facebook page. You can follow us, you can look for Elkem TV and then Elkem Media Services on YouTube. So today we're going to be discussing or remembering, that is Janani Luwum, that is after 47 years. Yeah, 47 years later after he did pass on. And then we shall be looking at the coincidences of Ssegirinya and the Honorable Ssewanyana's bail. But maybe just before we get into the gist of the discussion, I can start with the Honorable Kanaginagi. Something that I want to really remark. The other time we had another show, of course, which is not The Platform, and we were just asking our guests if they really did celebrate Valentine's.
For us, we are retired generals. Those Valentine things are for you younger people.
Really? but you see, your women can live because they are not celebrated.
Of course, I bought a special gift for my wife.
You see?
And
So it is not
grateful.
for...
It was a surprise to her. She didn't expect it. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask Honorable Amanyire's experience of the Valentines.
Me, I'm a true African. When you look at the background of Valentine and my African culture, I have no interest in Valentine.
Okay.
I celebrate my connections, my love, my relationship with my wife in the African way.
Okay.
I must express my love in the African way.
All right. Maybe we need to learn the African way as well. What is the trick?
The trick is that I don't need to buy red clothes and get flowers, but what you call Valentine should be a daily, a routine relationship.
Okay.
Not waiting for a year to tell your madam that you love her or tell your husband that you love him.
It's just like how people celebrate Christmas. See, you can celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ at any point. Maybe it can apply to Valentine's.
Yeah, you are now taking me into issues of divinity, because even Christmas, I think it's just a matter of celebration. But if you go to the divine implication, we should celebrate Christ every day in our lives.
All right, maybe we shall get back to that in another edition. Let me ask Honorable Fenhance how his experience of Valentine's looked like.
About Valentine's, the Valentine's Day commemoration. I think we only need to get the background of Valentine's Day, which was about religion and the Satan ruler, and it is a very deep and long background which I need not go into, which is again related to religion and politics, what we are going to be discussing here. But as an African, like Joshua said, and as a married person, I have somebody I love, and that thing is, you see, Mr. Kanaginagi Ateenyi ruti indondo ramu ya buruli wakugamba kamugura ekisembo, because he is moving towards that age of managing love. Even Joshua is in managing love, return journey. You know, when you are engaging, you are just engaging in a relationship. You go into managing love. When you go deep and you work and you do whatever, then you go into managing marriage and love. Then you go back to managing love. So that's where Ateenyi has gone, and I think even Omwiruntu is about to go there if he's not yet there. But when you look at my age compared to the two, I'm at the crossroads. I have a struggle of managing two things, managing love and managing marriage. So that is the biggest challenge. I call my wife, I ask her, did the children go to school? Has this one received the treatment? Have the workers done ABCD? Have you paid this? But now these people are going back to that age of asking them, have you eaten? What kind of food have you eaten?
And then
what have you put on today? I love you. I do this. That is managing love, and they are moving towards that direction. But for me, I'm that middle. I'm at that center, crossroads, managing both love and marriage.
All right. Thank you so much, the Honorable Fenhance. Of course, our viewers, it is very key for some of us or some of you to know about how our guests really celebrate, how they did celebrate their Valentines. But maybe I will borrow ideas from Honorable Amanyire on how you can abstain from... No, we can have it later. Yeah, how we can really avoid the things to do with Valentines. I'm one of them that don't believe in them so much, but somehow I'll join the league. All right, so our viewers that have just joined us, this is the platform, of course, where expression is guaranteed, and the ideas that you're about to hear in this session It is simply the ideas of our viewers. They are not ideas of Elkem television. So today's topic, we are looking at the remembrance of Janani Luwum. Maybe to start with, for starters, Honorable Kanaginagi, why is Janani Luwum supposed to be remembered? What was his contribution towards this country?
Yes, thank you very much, Kelvin. In 1971, I was in P6. A coup d'etat took place. The then elected president of UPC, Dr. Emeritus Joshua now, was in Singapore attending a Commonwealth conference, and he was overthrown by his own army commander, Idi Amin.
Yeah.
This Amin, one of the characteristics he had is that he had an inferiority complex because he had not gone far in terms of seeing books, reading books. So anybody would suspect to challenge his authority because of not being so literate would most times end up being killed. So 1972, there was the expulsion of the Indians, the declaration of the economic war. But throughout those years, 73, 74, many people disappeared where they were killed. They call extrajudicial killings, especially the elite, the professors, those who were lucky, escaped to exile, those who were unlucky were killed. So there are some people who stood their ground to stay here and bring sanity back to the country. And as I've already stated, I mean, didn't stand such challenges, especially if they were of elite nature. And most of his army men, like the Mariamungus, the Mustafas, some of them I wonder whether they even had seen the blackboard. For them, they believed in might rather than reason. So, Janani Luwum was the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda by then. And of course, by his calling, he had to stand by the truth, tell the truth, whether it meant what or what. So whenever would be doing those extrajudicial killings and so on, Janani Luwum was one of the people who would stand and tell him which thing he didn't like. So it climaxed that, to me, what I believe, because I also saw it myself. My brother-in-law was framed that he had bullets in our house where we were staying. So one early morning, people came, they woke us up, they pretended to be searching the house. Kumbe they had hidden the bullets on this curtain pane of the door. So he was taken, arrested, that he had bullets, and he was subverting the government. So I believe even in case of the late Janani Luwum, it was framed because he had challenged too much. So they framed him that he was collaborating with the guerrillas, that he had guns. Then even a meeting of men, I think it was called in the Nile Hotel, he was brought together with the former Minister Irinayo Ryema and the former Minister Charles Oboso Fumbi. They were summarily tried there without being given an opportunity to defend themselves. At the end of the day, because I saw it on TV, asked his soldiers that were there, he said, what should we do to these traitors? And they all answered in chorus, as the other ones who had arrested Jesus said, that kill him, hang him. They said Janani Luwum and his accomplices should be killed. Thereafter, they were bundled off in a vehicle, purportedly taken to Nakasero, where there was a state search bureau, where there was a center of killings. Then that night or in the morning, we were shocked to hear that those people, when they were being taken, one of them tried to hijack the steering from the driver of the vehicle that was taking them, and they had an accident, and that they had all died. Having died in that mysterious way, even their relatives were not allowed to see the dead bodies. But recently I was reading on one of the platforms, because Janani Luwum's dead body was flown to his ancestral place in Kitgum, Muchwini, and he was buried without allowing the relatives to view the body. They even left there some guards, but after some time when the guards had gone, the relatives had the courage to exhume the body and see what had really happened. It is said they found about 30 bullet holes in the body, and even his arm had been broken, and the bones were protruding.
Where they actually claimed it was an accident.
Yeah, they said they had an accident around the Kororo area. Yeah, but I was like,
postmortem, and
there was no postmortem made.
Oh, okay. Like you've talked about the bullets.
The relatives of the late Janani Luwum, after the guards had left, after some time, maybe after a week, they had the courage of exhuming the body to see what exactly happened.
Okay.
And they found more than 30 bullet holes in his what?
Body.
In his body.
Okay.
And one of his limbs had been broken, and the bones were protruding. So that's how he was killed. Why we should celebrate him is that he is one person who really stood for what he believed in. Because as a Christian and a Christian leader, a bishop at that, had to practice what he preached to his flock. If you are preaching truthfulness, standing by the truth, because they say when you talk the truth, it makes you free. Irrespective of the threats, he stood his ground and didn't run to exile. He stayed here, and he died for the truth. So that's why here we should celebrate him as a matter.
What is the impact of that truth that he died for?
In fact, on the contrary, I mean, so that by killing Janani Luwum, maybe now people would abandon the Christian faith, like that. But on the contrary, many people got converted and even got saved. They declared Jesus to be the personal savior and so on. It was like they got any matters. Mwanga killed them, thinking that he would suppress what? Religion. But instead, he had lit the fire to do what? For the growth of the Christianity.
Okay.
That's why we should really remember him. With his courage, believing in what he taught others, and practicing what he believed in.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Kanaginagi. I'll be able to get back to you. Honorable Amanyire, the Janani Luwum Day, what do we make of that day?
First of all, Honorable Kanaginagi has given us a background, and Janani Luwum was an enemy to socio-political injustice.
Okay.
And you remember those years, there was a lot of socio-political injustice by the Amin regime. And two, him being a spiritual leader of Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Boga, Zaire, he could not keep quiet at those socio-political injustices. He was also he was a victim. He was a ransom of Museveni's attempt to overthrow Amin's regime in 72.
Okay.
It was 72?
So
Yes, so Amin already was wounded. And the leader of that movement, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, was an Anglican. And Amin, in his own way, with his own intelligence,
okay.
he knew that Janani Luwum was an ally to that movement which was in Moshi and Arusha to overthrow his regime.
Okay.
And when you look at Amin, he was, of course, the political hunters of Amin were being championed and dominated by the strong Anglican economies, like United Kingdom. You remember even when Obote was overthrown, as we have been told, he was in Singapore.
Okay.
And they were celebrating Commonwealth Conference. Now, Commonwealth, of course, those are the Anglophone states, those which were once ruled by the United States or Britain. And the overthrow of Obote, of course, I had a lot of issues, but I think those political hunters of Amin knew that Amin, being a Muslim, associated to the Arab League. And you remember there was also an issue of Israel when the Jews were captured, were hijacked in the plane, brought to Libya and brought to Uganda. So that enmity between the the Anglican and the Muslims, of course, had to sacrifice Janani Luwum as the faithful Christian. And then there were also some tribal sentiment between the Luwum and the West Nileans. That one, even I think as I talk now, this place called, is it Apak? So there is also Apak.
Okay.
So Janani Luwum was Elangi, and Acholi. But that blood, that bad blood between the Northerners and the Western Islands was still in offing. And of course, you asked me the impact of celebrating Janani Luwum.
His contribution.
There is something that ignites fire. So the death of Janani Luwum, of course, had to attract more Anglican dominated states to join the anti-Amin movement.
Okay.
Many of them came in. It annoyed them, even those that were silent and passive. They had to get in. They had to sponsor fighters. They had to bring to give ammunitions and the rest. So we know that was another movement which brought, it was one of the factors that brought the downfall of Idi Amin. But and the two, as Ugandans, I remember in 1977 I was in P4, P5. There was a lot of unrest in this country. Everywhere you would go, people were not happy. People lived in fear. People would be hand-picked like grasshoppers. The following day, you would hear news somebody has been killed. Pandagari. It was a type of a black market. The economy was down. Of course, the expulsion of Indians, to me, that was the other advantage. Because I don't see the reason why Indians should flock here. Even now, as I see them, I see it as a disadvantage. When we invited them, because they are taking away our economy, I don't see them as an advantage.
Okay.
Yes. But Amin had expelled them, but what I'm saying, that the unrest was too much, and that was a time we had brain drain. People ran away. Most top brains of this country ran away and went into diaspora for fear of their lives. So the education sector was, of course, greatly affected. Big business people were operating in fear, and most of them ran away. That's why we had a lot of Ugandans in Nairobi, in Dar es Salaam, I mean in Arusha. Others went to South Africa, and a lot of bloodshed, and Ugandans did not enjoy their country.
Okay.
Then on the other hand, it teaches us as Christians, I'm a pastor, that we have to be strong and be ready to die for our faith, for the truth. In the book of Philippians chapter 3 and verses 10 up to 12, it says, Apostle Paul says, that I may know Jesus Christ and the power of his resurrection, which was made conformable unto his death, and also take sharing in the fellowship of his suffering. So Christianity is not only smiling and laughing, it's also about sacrifice.
Yeah.
So I think Janani did it. He sacrificed his life for the rest. I'm tempted to think that had he not to be killed, probably Amin would have pushed on, because even countries that joined the anti-Amin movement would still be silent, because they still had some trade with him. He's the man who sold them ivory, gold, and everything. But this incident
brought an end.
And enmity to the Amin regime. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Amanyire. Let me get to the Honorable Fenhance. The commemoration of Janani Luwum and his contributions to this country. We realize that most of the things that he died for, more especially what the other guests have been able to talk about, the sacrifice and all the remarks that were there after that incident, ABCD. We've seen that some of these things, for example, the extrajudicial killings, these are things that are still happening up to date. Is this celebration a kind of a mockery, or it is something that is really substantial?
Thank you so much, Mr. Elijah. First of all, I'm highly privileged to be on this platform, especially for today, with these two honorable gentlemen who have a very rich background on late Bishop Janani Luwum. The mayor is talking of Bishop. Very recently, I got to learn that in the Constitution of the Church of Uganda, the moment you get out of the office of the Archbishop, then you go back to the title of a bishop. You cannot say Archbishop Emeritus or whatever, you are a bishop.
To go out, he was killed in
but it's not in office. At whatever circumstance you get out, you are no longer an Archbishop.
Dead on the fly.
So, and they have given us a very rich background about the circumstances under which Janani Luwum died.
Yeah.
I think it was on 17th of February 1977, after serving for 5 years for 3 years after 1974 as an archbishop. During his time, around that time, Janani Luwum was one of the most influential religious leaders in Africa, because he was even an archbishop, like Mayor Joshua said, of very many provinces, Rwanda, Zaire, Burundi, Uganda. By the time he died, and he could talk and people listened to him world over, and he really contributed a lot to the 2nd century of the Church of Uganda. And that's why it was even declared a matter by the international province of the Anglican Church. And the commemoration of his death today, I personally think that it needed to look at what caused the death of Janani Luwum. That is one.
And its impact.
Its impact. Two, we should be looking at picking the learnings from what caused his death. The learnings of, it's good that they have said that there was a disagreement between him and the president then, Idi Amin Dada, which is very true. They are talking of framing him, allegations that he had guns, he had the bullets in his house, whatsoever. But what was the basis of all such allegations? Why was he framed? What caused him to be framed? One, this man was very brave, like the two have said. Very brave and straightforward. Two, he could tell any truth in its naked form. He could confront leaders, and for many times he engaged the then president Idi Amin Dada on his dictatorship leadership. And he was a man who believed in freedom, who believed in democracy, who believed in participation of all citizens in public decisions, who believed in self-expression, who generally believed in human rights. And he couldn't tolerate the then president Idi Amin's dictatorship reign. He could confront him several times and advise him, tell him the word of God, tell him how he did not own this country, how he did not own the citizens, how he was there to serve the people, and how he needed to serve the people in the righteous way. And it is that what irritated the president and his people to frame him and have him killed. And after killing him, they lied to the citizens and the entire world that he got involved in an accident. And he was buried very, very quickly. And the people like, was it Ben Kiwanuka, became victims of circumstances when they resisted to report according to the instructions by the head of the state.
So he was not the only one.
And many others, they became victims of circumstances. And the only thing that we need to look at now, as we commemorate this day, do we have such things happening in Uganda today?
And that is the point that I was saying.
Exactly.
Is it a mockery, or we learned nothing and forgot nothing?
It might be a mockery for now. It might not be a mockery for now. I don't want you to push me to the corner, but what I want to say is that the leaders themselves have been celebrated. I want the president of this country, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, to reflect at the causes of the death of this and the reasons for the commemoration. What is happening today? Do people have freedom?
The question to you, Honorable Fenhance, 747 years later, you see, we literally celebrate Janani Luwum death every single year. And now it is actually 7 years. The question,
and this is the third time we are celebrating it, and they declared the public holiday.
Okay, for the time that we've celebrated him, have we learned nothing and forgot nothing? Because we actually see that after we have these extrajudicial killings. We've had quite a number of examples here in Uganda for people
we have had abductions,
actually dying for the truth.
In fact, we have had abductions. Pandagar is still there, although in another form. Now we use drones. People are being arrested. Over religious leaders are being threatened day and night. They are being warned to mind their business, to preach the word of God, to do what and not talk about the leadership. It's good that we are going to discuss that. You can't separate religion and politics.
Yeah, that's right.
So many things have been happening, and that's why I said to a certain extent, it has been a mockery, but we might not call it a mockery because many people do not know the purpose of this commemoration.
Okay.
If many people knew the purpose of this commemoration, then they would be coming out boldly to say, as we commemorate this day, I think we need to look at it. Using the worst day, remind the state that please, we are commemorating the Janani Day, Jakaria, the Archbishop, the late Archbishop of this country, who was murdered because of ABCD, but you are still abducting people. There is Pandagari using drones. There is a framing of politicians whom you think that they are a threat, or whom you think that they are scratching your backs. You are threatening various religious leaders. Please, can you help us? Maybe to a certain extent, there are certain things that they have been doing differently from Idi Amin Dada, but it might also be in their favor. Like, I want to cite an example. I know Mr. Joshua is very good at history. Kanaginagi is a scientist, but he refers to history a lot. But there are instances that I want to, around Idi Amin's time, we only had 3 major religious institutions: Roman Catholic, Anglican, and Islam.
About the SDS.
Those ones were there, but in hiding, undercover. But the most bold ones were Islam, Anglican, and Roman Catholic. The rest were being suppressed. When you see the Pentecostals, where Joshua belongs now, you might think that they have just come with this president. No, they were underground, and they were just suppressed by the leadership then. And then this leadership has opened up, and you can see very many other religions coming up. Like we have Amanyire kiiza under the leadership of Bisaka. There is another grouping coming up where so there has been opening up of space for religions. People can have space and express themselves. How the expression is being handled and interpreted and put into practice, that is another issue for discussion. But I would think that we would take, even accepting to commemorate the Janani Luwum Day and celebrating it and declaring it a public holiday, it alone is enough to say that maybe it is a very big achievement. And the challenge is, how do we use this day, this commemoration, to inform the state and those people in the state about their dictatorship behaviors and how they should change.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say about who.
As you talk about that, also I would request you, we will look at how, if we really have religious leaders that still speak about these atrocities, of course, after doing mentions for our sponsors. All right, our viewers that are watching us live on Elkem TV, this is the platform where expression is guaranteed. Now, this show is proudly sponsored by Victory Bija Hotel. You can reach out to them for accommodation, conference facilities, bar and restaurant services, sauna services, grounds for the events. And then we are also sponsored by Stuart Engineering Limited. Of course, you can reach out to them for tiling, painting, and all the plumbing services. Back to you, Honorable Amanyire. The thing in question is, do we have religious leaders that are still really standing like Janani Luwum?
Yeah, they are there.
If yes,
we have the Uganda Joint Christian, it is there, of all the top faith leaders of this country.
But are they speaking about these atrocities, the killings, the abductions, and the like?
Yeah, they have been condemning them. You know, they is speaking about them and condemning. They have been condemning them. That one I know where they are. And government has come up to answer those queries. Yes.
Maybe after getting the cars, the vehicles, and it is another one.
Ate mubunyo wanu bakiyita butonga mpola. Mugenda kutonga omuntu amanyi yogera ekiniga ekyakora banza nakuteera ekyayi nakusiga ihuli nakuteera n'omugaati obusego ne bukeera ate otandika kumugamba bati ebintu byange biri mbizire ku kyabaala byo biroho birabitalo ngambira nga bukedde ate you are already giving yourself alternatives okukuba oliire. Yes, so those favors are a part of corruption because they corrupt your mind. You don't speak out your mind openly. Yes, you are already imprisoned, you are captive with a certain force because you can't fight what you are, where you are eating. I wanted to, because there was some kind of question, is it worth commemorating this day? I wanted to say we can celebrate him, but declaring it a public holiday to me was very uneconomical. Somebody here, my friend Fenhance Kyotasobora said, since the commemoration, what have we gained? For instance, I wanted to say, there are so many people that have done a lot of things, good things. If we celebrated each one of them, including Kabaleg and others, then this type of
public holidays.
Yes. Because now, a public holiday means freezing some of the economic activities. Social services like government, the services are freezed for that particular day. And the other, when you calculate the amount of money lost during that public holiday, it's not worth celebrating this, to commemorate this day.
More especially when it's contribution.
Now, what surprised me, Janani was an Anglican. Some schools which are Anglican founded schools, that particular day, their children were at school. Kabalega Primary School was one of them. The seat of the bishop of Masindi diocese. When we were commemorating the day of Janani, who was an Anglican archbishop who died on the front line. But the school was open. You see? Now, if the very school under the same ministry, under the same Anglican mission, is not celebrating it, how many services, church services do we have? Those you know that celebrated that day here in Masindi. Maybe Mr. Kanaginagi can tell us in Fenhance, is there any church which invited you to celebrate? So sitting at home, people doing a lot of nothing in the name of public holiday, and people are even keeping at home. They even don't know the importance of that day. So I would say it is a waste. Because if people were educated on why we are celebrating it, commemorating it, and even then, would commemorate it and still continue their work. It's all like the private service enforcement of public service. Those under government, all of them went away. How much money was lost? How many people that day wanted to access government service from home? Are they being punished? What I mean is, so it's like they're being punished. What I mean is, but if the government came up,
punishment, we have to get every single.
If the government came up, and the Church of Uganda came up and made a record, instead of commemorating it as a public holiday, the government has independent came on that day.
I've seen the schools in Mambo.
a lot of things is going on in South Africa.
All right, Honorable Joshua, let me get to Honorable Honorable Kanaginagi. Honorable Amanyire did mention about he's trying to put up the relevancy of this day and how people do not celebrate it, how people do not programs that are held in the name of celebrating this day. How should this day be commemorated, or how should Ugandans emulate this day? Yeah, that's right. Okay.
You have already told us in the press whether we want it or not.
And how you see?
This new Archbishop of the Catholic Church, Ssewanyana, has been so focused since his time when he was still at first the king as parish priest, then the Bishop of Kyotasobora, so they were back. Then there is this Muslim who died recently, Mazata. They can still, so a few can still stand up.
And you see, that is what the Ugandans actually are worried of. You see, your life is at stake when you start standing for the truth. For how long are we going to sacrifice, and then the return is dying?
But ultimately, at the end of the day, Kanaginagi could be no more.
Yeah, that's right. But how? So the question is how.
My conscience, and that is my biggest weakness and my biggest stress. When my conscience tells me that what I'm advocating for, what I'm believing in is right, that is me. So although there are still a few, as Honorable Amanyire said, because can I tell you to everybody in the courts? So they have been given
those incentives, the goodies.
They go so.
Is it relevant? And how should the Ugandans emulate this day?
I'm saying, when you say that you want to see something wrong within us, I could sense from within. We have created so many public holidays that are not benefiting our people and are not promoting our economic growth. We are talking daily seeing about coming into a middle income class. Shall we?
You see, Honorable Amanyire said we are on a punishment of Idi Amin.
When developed countries,
lazy economy,
the United States and the UK, they are working 18 hours. For us, even working for 5 hours.
Very difficult. I mean, people in public service, they will only work morning to midday. They come in at 9 and midday they want to leave.
Some of them come at 10. When they go for lunch, they don't
come back. Yeah.
Then how we get to the middle income status?
But the president did mention we are a middle state. Middle.
The language people have made. You find somebody who is ready in the zero bicycle before you
Actually, even the ones driving vehicles, they are
maybe it is an anxiety.
We are trying to force it.
People who are aspire. If you become the
Honorable.
economy's money, resources, put them together, and then divided by the population to get the per capita income.
Maybe
Whereas in Uganda, you will find that only one person has money, which would be money for 500,000 or 3 million people.
You see,
and that explains why we have the unique inflation. Because the unique inflation, in a normal inflation, people have a lot of money, but there are no services and goods. But in Uganda's economy, people don't have money. There is a lot of money in circulation, according to Central Bank and World Bank and International Monetary Fund. But people don't have money, and there are very many services and goods. You see bread, you see whatever, but people don't have the power. That one explains that the people in power are thieves. They are stealing citizens' money.
Maybe that is why.
You know, they like to call it a submerging economy, where you find the biggest part of the population is submerging.
Below the poverty line.
Yeah.
Which is the $1 per
day. You have
day.
only 10% floating above the water. So when you look at the 10 floating above the water, you see
it makes you think.
But the 90% is submerged. So I think we are under the same situation. We are a submerged economy where we have the biggest percentage of the don't have, and those that have are maybe 10%. And that is the way how to control the politics, the dynamics of politics in such a sub-Saharan country.
Okay. All right. Let the honorable conclude. Yes.
I wanted to connect that one to the relevance of this day commemoration. These issues we are raising here about the economy, how it is degenerating, and the head of state is saying it is miling higher and high. We should be, and those are the issues which caused the death of Janani Luwum. And during this day, we should be working by using very similar experiences to tell the head of the state that you are telling lies. Chairman NRM, who is the leader, who is the party which is in leadership, we are party members, what you are saying is not correct. Let us tell the truth. People are bad off, people are poor, the economy, the money in economy and other resources are being stolen by people in different offices. Let us distribute the resources equitably. We should be using this day to advocate.
All right. As we conclude about this particular conversation.
Yes. For the middle income status. Instead, we should be reducing on these French leaves. These public holidays are too many. As the Honorable Amanyire said here, let a write-up be developed about Janani. Then maybe they would organize a memorial lecture. People first work up to midday or at 2. Then they go for such a memorial lecture, or even on TV at night. That would be enough for commemoration. But every other day, public holiday. Every other day, public holiday.
We actually had about 3, almost in the same week.
Just following each other.
Following each other.
Just after the 6th of February.
All right. Now that takes us to the question of how should this day be emulated by the Ugandans? Should we scrap it off? How? Because now that it was declared as a public holiday, how should the Ugandans be able to emulate it?
Because some of the people, like you younger people, you may not really know what exactly happened.
I'm actually very lucky to be getting to know. Yeah.
Right up be developed, then that literature is distributed for people to know. Then after that, we need, as I suggested, a memorial lecture, so that we not take the whole day, not people sit at home and the punish them as the Honorable Amanyire had said. Here, in a serious note, Ugandans should work if we are together for poverty. Then the other thing which I've always emphasized is corruption. We are still handling corruption with kid gloves. I told you that I started with Kagame. Kagame came from here, 1994. most of the laws that are being
used in Rwanda
applied there. When we visited, they told us, what you passed in the parliament and put on the shelf to what we picked and what we are using here. Absolute. I can't say it is zero in Rwanda, but it is very, very minimum. People even fear to be caught being corrupt. I'll give you an example. The border in the world strictly has got carry only 1%. And with what?
Element.
So when we visited there with some young men, the counselors at night, we wanted to go for that night first. Then two of them hired a border boat. For him, he thought he was going to carry one what? Then as he was about to take off, the second passenger did what?
Sad.
The man said, please save me, save me. Only what?
Person.
Yeah. But here in Uganda,
somewhere are they?
And in fact, when you go to work at the Katuna board, this side of Uganda, the border boats are carrying 2-3 passengers. Immediately cross in the Katuna.
One
strictly one what?
passenger.
And with a helmet.
With the helmet, as I said. The kind of seriousness we must come to if we are to get to that middle income status. We are not denying that these heroes like Janani and Luwum did things. But now are not a day every year as the public holiday. Even when you want now we can do a holiday. The Frank Karimudu, they were professors.
Muzata.
The Bank of Uganda government. He did many things to the Bank of economy. Chief engineer, as you have said. He also stood against so much. And when Janani was killed, it's when he ran to Nairobi.
All right.
So if we declare every other day a public holiday,
it doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Out of the 365 days, we shall find that we are only working for maybe 150 or 100. The rest, public holiday.
All right. No. All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Kyotasobora. Yes. Yes. I briefly, I want us to wrap up this conversation. How can the church be able to engage in politics?
Well, no.
By the way, not forgetting you are a pastor. Yes.
We have lost, I would say, not everybody, but we have to a certain extent lost by more of them. Because I have personally been to State House in a position of a person. But my question is, the head of state, His Excellency the President, does not have issues with the faith leaders. And one time, they looked at us and said, you people, are you helping me at all?
Mobilize.
No, not mobilize. He also expects. He also expects
something in return.
He also expects people to tell him his wrong side. You know when you have somebody who is expecting also to be corrected, and there is nobody, even when he sees that even the people who look at you, who have got the highest moral authority, have not talked about the error. Then he says, I think I'm right. He expects these people to come up and say, Mr. President, ABCD is wrong. And then he will come up and say, let me find out and do my investigation. I will report to you in 3 months' time. They have not done it. We have Uganda Joint Council. What have they done? So, and we have the Interreligious Council. There are 2. Uganda Joint Christian, and then we have the Interreligious, which includes the other non-Christian faith. What have they done? At times we may pile a lot of blames to the president. What can he do? These are supposed to compliment. They are supposed to be partners. Tell him why he's wrong. This Janani did. If we are going to commemorate Janani, this is what he did. He spoke his heart out, and although it caused him physical death, But I think he must have been rewarded somewhere. Are these people standing their ground? Are our faith leaders doing their their role to correct the head of state, to correct the other organs which are not doing?
Maybe they don't have
the nation.
someone will come out and say they don't have access.
Which access? If you can access State House, then what else? If you cannot access defense, then you have access to the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He is the head of state, the fountain of honor. When you talk about your local government, he will get somebody responsible for local government. They normally meet him.
You see, when they meet him, they actually go for goodies. They are going to ask for cars.
And you know the problem we have, each one of them makes an alarm for his smaller unit.
That's right.
You get me? Yeah, you know, Anglican Church, we are forgotten. The Catholic Church, we are doing
this.
They promised to give us 10,000 bags of cement, we have not. Then the other one will come Pentecostal. We are so many, you have not given us a record. And Seventh Day will come up and say, for us, you will know, your eye does not catch us. So this, you know, that kind of thing. And nobody talks issues of the national
contents.
If they are just done in a summary and at the end. You get me?
Right.
So we have a role. I think this platform and other platforms can also engage these Christian faith leaders to engage them, to tell us exactly their role, especially the role of
Religious Council,
the Joint Christian Council, and let them tell us we have even in the Pentecostal, we have umbrella national. We have NAPAC, we have NAPBAC, we have buses. All these are umbrellas. Why can't they speak for the common man? Why do I have to speak? In fact, when I'm talking, I don't need to talk for the Pentecostal. I'm talking for all the
Remembrance, yeah.
Because it is the only new who has been identified as a Pentecostal. All these have been talking, but they have not identified their religion. Yet they are talking for the whole nation.
Yeah.
So I think this next time let them be, we let them invite a reverend or a bishop and maybe a sheikh to come and tell us what is their role. I've realized when Mr. Kanaginagi was here, Mr. Kyotasobora has been one of the champions of the non-organization. These people are invited. They are well catered for the budget. In fact, some of us may even get it, but you say that they are treated honestly and they pass up what they get. For instance, everybody homosexuality. You had the churches, institutions, have they made a crusade? Have they made a movement?
For finances. All right, Honorable, I getting to the question, and I won't be able to get to the question of Janani. Maybe brief, we current or let had bail for the Ssegirinya, the one. What could be these answers of this? What do you mean of this bail?